And I realize that, how people say, oh, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not that. It's that you want to be around people that are positive and happy and open so you can get the best result. It is hard when you're in an area that is not what you need socially. But this is like the whole point of why we started this. So thank goodness for technology, as difficult as it can be. Like, we've been able to keep each other sane over the past few, months now?
Yeah, easily. Yeah, it's been since November that we've been planning this.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's interesting, the correlation, because obviously, we're chatting to each other. We get this motivation, inspiration from each other. But coming from working in the online space, for me, my saving grace has been connecting with people on the internet and finding like-minded people who are interested in the same thing. And I'm forever being sent the most incredible creative projects that other people are working on. Like, people send me sketches and drawings and paintings, and some people have sent poems. Other people share that they're starting their content creation journey. It's really exciting and inspiring. And I think that the podcast, obviously, we're the ones producing it, putting it out there, but you guys contribute back to us as much as we're trying to contribute to you. So thank you as well, because it's hard. It's hard being a creative on your own.
100%. And we touched on this last week. When you connect with others, everything gets better for you, each other, everyone. So whether it's business networking, whether it's creatives, talking about their experiences and coming up with new ideas, or brainstorming and growing ideas, whatever it is, together you can do more. I really, truly believe this with all my heart. If we all as individuals can focus on finding the same with other people, not focusing on our differences, then everyone would be at peace. Like, if we can, and not only at peace, but if we can all focus on finding our similarities, then you can't hate the person, because you humanize them, because they have a part of that, you have a part in you. And so I feel like that, for me, at the end of the day, is my ultimate thing. So if people can get involved and chat to us, I would love to find our similarities and, find, especially with people who are really different. You know what I mean? Like, when I meet, a tradie who works on an oil rig, and you wouldn't think there's anything in common. When you find those commonalities, it's so joyful, and you end up learning so much from each other. Like, I learn from others that way. And so, yeah, I don't know, I've gone off. I'm on a tangent. Help.
No, it's a relevant tangent. You just made me think that, like, we've talked about networking before, and how, like, networking can become this big scary thing where you feel like you're forced to go and have awkward conversations with people, or reach out to someone that you feel inadequate in comparison to, or whatever. Whereas this is networking. Networking is the ability to have a conversation with someone with no particular expectations, but genuinely taking an interest, and you'll find amazing things out about people if you do that. Whereas if you go in with a preconceived idea of what you want out of it, or what their shortcomings are, you're never going to find out the exciting stuff about them, are you? So it's about learning to connect genuinely.
Yeah, I think you've touched on something really great there, curiosity. So you can't fake it. Like, if you, and intentions, readable. So if you're going into a situation and your whole intention is to get something out of it, that's not connection. You might think that's networking, but I think what you're saying is networking is just talking to people. And if you're genuinely curious about them, then you're going to learn about them. They're going to feel heard. You're going to connect. That's networking. So
yeah,
networking is really just, I always think of it as making friends.
Yes.
Like, just getting to know people. Like, even the other day I was talking to Kirby, and she said she's a really curious person. And I thought, that makes sense. No wonder you're such a legend. Like, she just wants to know why, and there's no, there's no reason. She's not wanting to know because of this. She just wants to know, curious.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really good point. If you're curious, you're going to connect with others, and you're going to network.
Yeah, and that connects back to something we talked about last week. Gabe, you recommended that I listen to the Elizabeth Gilbert TED Talk.
Oh, yes.
Elizabeth talks about how people will often sort of instill fear in you about being a creative, that you're afraid of how it might all go wrong. And honestly, yes, there are so many talented and capable creatives out there. In fact, most people that you meet in some way, shape, or form will have something creative about them, even if they think they're not creative and they have like a 9-to-5 job. But the thing is, if you connect really genuinely with someone, they're going to want to help you because they like you. You know, if they like you, they're going to see the thing in you that has potential, and then they're going to be excited to give you an opportunity, and it will come from a really genuine place. Because otherwise, why would they want to? Why should you're not entitled to help from somebody just because you have a talent?
And if you think about it, you know, in the way, like, what would you do? That's how I always think of things. Like, I want, like, even, you know, like, if someone's rude to customer service people, I just always think, come on, like, when people are nice, you don't even have to have worked in the job to understand this. If someone is nice to you, you're going to help them more.
Yeah.
You know, so I think putting yourself in the other person's shoes is a good way to look at creative networking, business networking. It's like, first of all, they if they have something to help you with, they're gonna have to like you and want to be around you first.
Yeah.
Because otherwise that's just not gonna happen.
No.
Like, they've already spent how many years building a life that they want. Like, you know, and I remember when I first started working professionally in film and stuff, I noticed that all the people were awesome. Really good people, really nice, really kind, really empathetic, really hardworking. And I was like, oh, this is amazing. So, and I realized that, you know, how people say, oh, it's not what you know, it's who you know. It's not that. It's that you want to be around people that are positive and happy and open so you can get the best result. So as you keep doing that, others are doing it too. So if you're not getting opportunities and you're not connecting, you need to take responsibility for yourself and be better, because it's on you. That's how I see it. Like, that's it. And like with anything, really, isn't it? It's always on us. It's on yourself to sort out.
Absolutely. It always comes back to like the personal journey, which we touched on last week as well. But I think too, it feeds back into the art, doesn't it? Because really, when you share art with the world, you're hoping that people will connect with it. And so it needs to relay a genuine human experience. And again, this is coming back to the TED Talk, is, you know, this idea of like the muse versus the genius artist. Like, if it's too narcissistic, if it's too much about you and what you're going to get out of it, people can't relate to that. They're just going to see it as like, that's your problem. Go and do that on your own. Stare in a mirror and be, you know, impressed with yourself. But if you want to create art that people engage with, you're going to have to find a commonality, and that comes from genuinely connecting with people. And that's exciting. Like, this is not supposed to be criticism. Like, it's really cool and exciting to be able to connect with fellow artists and be excited for them in their journey.
I think that's a really good point. It's more fun. It's more productive. It's more rewarding. And it's better art than you'll ever be able to make without being that way. So it's like, yeah, you're right. It's a good thing. It's not a bad thing. And if you haven't worked out how to do that, there are tools like this Elizabeth Gilbert TED Talk. So what I took from that was being available to receive the ideas, but don't be critical on yourself. Just do the thing. Like, don't judge yourself, basically. And if others judge you, who cares? Like, it's sort of like what Andy Warhol said, my favorite quote I always come back to.
Yeah.
You know, just keep making art, and while other people figure out what they think about it, have made more art. So that's not the point. So if you're worried about what people think, it's a different issue. So if you're listening and you are past all that, how cool is it to just make your art?